Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. I'm so excited here. We're here at Gratitude Garden Organic Farm and an amazing tree place. They have 2 acres of tropical fruit trees. We're in Lockahachy, Florida. And then they also have this amazing garden, and I'm just so thankful to be here. Let's meet the owner. Say hello everybody.
Hello.
Tell everybody your name and what you're doing here.
Yeah, my name is Joseph Shamus. Me and my wife Tawna, we own this farm. We've been building it since around 2013, 2014. When we came here, it was nothing really here. This place was basically just an empty lot, and we had to clear it and start building it out. We've been doing it slowly over the last couple of years. Yeah, we specialize in organic mushrooms, microgreens, veggies. We've got lots of fruit trees, and we're just experimenting with which fruit trees do well out here. But we're very well known for the turmeric varieties that we grow and the mushrooms that we grow.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what do you do with all these greens?
Well, we eat them, and second of all, we sell them at farmers markets. So we do retail farmers markets for people that buy off us for the last 7-8 years, and then we wholesale mushrooms to chefs. We don't really wholesale our veggies to chefs, even though they really want them, but we want to provide it to our retail customers.
Wonderful. So he's at local farmers markets, and then we're gonna look at your fruit trees. What do you do with? How many trees do you have?
Oh, I don't know the exact number, but close to probably like 100, 150 maybe. About 150
on 2 acres.
Yeah, it's around 2 acres, I would say. Around 2 acres, an acre and 3/4, 2 acres. And we spaced them kind of tight because, we planted them with Alex from Tropical Acres. And he likes to plant them tight so that when they all get really, really full, they just whack the one in the middle out and then let those other 2 come in. So we get fruit from the middle one for a little while.
Sure.
But
well, he likes to actually dig it out and
then really whack it out. Yeah.
No whack, no mango.
No whacking the mango.
So besides mango, do you have other fruits here?
I have some sapodilla, and I've got 3 varieties of avocado, and I have 10 varieties of bananas.
Okay, so we're gonna look at that there. Now, how far apart are the trees?
Well, we've done a few different techniques in there. In between the rows, there are 20 feet. So like this way, they're 20 feet, and then when they're next to each other like this, I believe they're 15 in some cases, and then 10 in some cases.
Okay.
The 10, obviously, we have to cut.
Okay, so we're heading over there right now. That's the garden over there. That's the mango trees over there,
the orchard,
and all the trees. And so some are they're 20 feet apart in the separation of the rows.
Yes.
But in terms of how close they are, some are 10 feet and some are 20.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good example for those of you that are growing trees. Eventually, depending how high you're going to keep them, you're going to have to get rid of some if you're going to do them 10 feet apart.
This ones here were planted so that I could actually leave them. They're going to be tight, but I could actually leave them. The ones when you go deeper in are tighter together. That means one of them in the middle has to go.
Okay. Now, how tall are these trees?
Oh, I haven't measured them, but they've been growing. They're about, 20 feet maybe.
Do you ever cut them back?
I did when they were little. I was topping them, so they low branch out because we want them to branch lower. And then they just kind of got too tall, so I just There's no power lines or anything, so I just let them go.
Okay, alrighty. So here you go. We're gonna look over there now. All right, so here we are in Joseph's grove here, his tree grove, and he has a bunch of mango trees, and he worked with Alex at Tropical Acres Farm, so he knows about the different good mango trees to get and so on. How old are these trees?
We planted most of them in 2015. So they're about 6-7 years old. 7 years old. Yeah, depending on when we put them in. These we put in a little bit later. And these were actually, I got these from Zills. But they were pretty oversized, so I keep my eye on them because, at Zills when you go buy like a 7-gallon, it's actually a 3-gallon in a 7-gallon. So these ones were actually big boys in, so we had to like root prune them and then put them in, and it was a deal that I found.
So how tall were the original ones when you put them in?
This big.
Okay.
I've got video of it.
Okay.
They were like literally waist high.
Okay.
3 gallons.
And those were much more, you said.
Those were probably a 15-gallon when I put them in, so they were already kind of tall. But I put them in a year or two later from the other ones, so they were around the same size. But these trees are sweet tart, which I believe Alex is one of Alex's favorite. He loves that tree. Sweet tart, and then I've also got Venus, which doesn't do well here. Sweet tart does all right, and then I have lemon meringue.
Okay.
So these trees right here are a mix between Venus, sweet tart, and lemon meringue. These 3 rows right here.
So now I'm going to ask you, you have 3 rows of trees.
No, I have a lot more down there.
3 rows here.
Just right in this section.
But only 3 varieties.
In this section.
So why?
I have a lot more varieties over there, but in Loxahatchee, if I took this orchard and moved it straight east, every single tree would grow perfect. I wouldn't even have to touch it.
Yeah.
But because I'm in Loxahatchee,
only certain varieties.
Varieties. What I found that does well out here is Duncan. Sweet tart, lemon meringue, they get scab, but they fruit and they do okay. They don't do great out here. The best one out here is Pickering, hands down. Pickering, Duncan, Fairchild does pretty good out here too. I like Fairchilds. Those ones do pretty good with. You still have to put a little work in them, but very little compared to the rest. So unfortunately, I'm going to be removing some of the mangoes and selling them because they are organic mango trees. But if I sell them to somebody east of I-95, they'll grow perfect. But for me, in order for me to get them to fruit properly as a commercial crop, it's too much work and it's not worth it. I don't feel that I should have to force a fruit tree or any tree or vegetable to force it to do well in an environment it doesn't want to do well in.
Sure.
So my goal is to change them out with certain trees that do well here in Loxahatchee, like jackfruit, sapodillas do well out here, a lot of different other fruit trees, because I want a fruit forest rather than a straight mango orchard.
What is your favorite mango?
Kerry.
All right. Kerry.
I'm a Kerry guy.
Yes.
Kerry sweet tart's pretty good, but I like a Kerry.
Yes.
Yes.
Now what happened here? I see
This is a Venus. I cut it down.
Why?
Because it was not doing well. It's doing disease,
okay.
and I needed the room. You know, we tried doing some grafting on some of the trees where we cut them down to here, and then when they shoot right out, I attached like a Pickering to it. And I actually got Connor to do that. Remember Connor? Connor. So they came out and did a little bit, but you have to be on top of that. And I'm just so busy with the rest of the farm. I just honestly didn't give it the TLC that it needed. Sure. And unfortunately, as a farmer, I have to pick and choose where all my attention is going. And right now, it has to go on the more important things that are generating income for the farm. The orchard is something that is like more my passion. It doesn't really make me any real income for the farm, but it is. I'll tell you, there's nothing like some May, June, July in this orchard, and you're just picking 25 varieties of mangoes.
So these were the original trees you put in, and
these are the ones I put in maybe in 2017. 2016, 17. The ones down there I put in earlier.
How far are these apart?
That's what I told you. I think it's around 12 to 15 feet. We switched out the spacing because I told Alex, I was like, how can I place them so I don't have to do any more work later?
Yeah.
Because Alex, focuses on one thing. He does mangoes. I do 100 different things. Yeah. I can't be as intense as Alex when it comes to my mango orchard.
So these are mostly those 3 varieties he said. Now he's going to take us to see all the other varieties.
Yeah.
So we see some sapodilla trees.
Yes, we do.
How many varieties of sapodilla?
I believe I have 2 varieties.
Do you know what they are?
No, I forgot the names.
Okay.
I do. If you tell me the names, I'll remember them.
Well,
There's 2 really good ones.
They're all good.
I know they are.
They're all good.
I have some larger ones and some smaller ones. See the smaller ones right here? They definitely are different trees. You can tell. The other one kind of bushes out, and this one kind of stretches out.
Sure. And this is the season now, by the way, for these. Have you been getting some ripe ones now?
I noticed, but they take like 13 months to ripen. Like, it's crazy. They take like a year to ripen almost. So the ones that are ripening on the tree right now, they're fruiting at the same time.
Sure.
It's...
well, that's how they work. That's what's so good about them. Mangoes are one season, but these, they last a lot longer.
Yeah.
Now, how old are these trees?
They're about 4 or 5 years old.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, they're a slow-growing tree.
How tall were they when you put them in the ground?
Probably like this big.
Okay.
So they take a long time to grow.
Sure.
They're not a fast-growing tree.
Now, what are you doing for your irrigation system on all the trees?
We have irrigation. You can see at the base of each tree we have irrigation stakes.
Yes.
So we have an irrigation line that runs under here. You can see it right here also. So it shoots down and it's like a tree stake, but we haven't been irrigating we don't really irrigate that much anymore because they're mature trees.
Sure.
So the mango trees don't really need it. They get enough water. If I really wanted to do it properly, I would have it all, as soon as they're fruiting, you give them a little bit of water, but we just let them do what they do out here. And I like to see what grows well without too much help.
Sure.
If it needs that much help to grow out here, I don't really want to grow.
I got you. So you have how many sapodilla trees you said?
I've got probably around like 8, 10 of them, 15 of them around there. I've got a little bit more avocado varieties. You can see them flowering right now.
Okay,
and
so this is a row of sapodillas.
Sapodillas, and then I have 2 rows of avocado.
So you said you have 3 varieties of the avocado.
Yeah, I have Brogdon, Lula, and Day.
Okay.
And I like all of those varieties. The only issues with the Lulas are they get a lot of scab, but they're delicious inside. I'll show you. I actually have some on here while they're flowering.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this flowering avocado tree. Now, how old are these avocado trees?
About the same. I planted these in 2015, and they were literally waste time to whack them because you can see how long some of these things are.
Sure.
These branches are. I should be cutting them, every couple feet so that they don't just stretch out like this.
Sure.
So you can see, like, these are the lulas. They go all winter long, and I have them spread out so I have avocados for like 5-6 months. So the Brogdon come first, then the Day, then the Lula. So I've got months and months of avocado. So the problem with the Lula is it gets a lot of the scab.
Sure.
This is what mangoes get here too. But when you cut this open, it's perfect. So, we sell them to people that understand, but people like to buy with their eyes. If it's not perfect, they're like, I don't,
Sure.
But
so
this is a really good mango.
what's in season now? The Lula.
The Lulas are the only avocado left that I still have a little bit on the tree. But avocados don't really ripen on the trees per se. You're supposed to pick them.
Yeah.
So we just pick them as we need them.
Great,
and they seem to be doing okay.
So that's his avocados here.
We're gonna keep going. There's some more down here for you.
And all this is on 2 acres, everybody. So these trees here.
Yeah, and we have a field right here that we had turmeric in, and we're just finishing up this field right now. So we're gonna flip these 5-6 beds over here. Here we just planted some eggplant, but these are all turmeric. So with turmeric, we put down a little bit of a cover so that over the summer months, you can see even with the covers, look at the weeds. Yeah. So even with the covers, if I didn't have covers, it would be like that.
Wow.
So
showing that. Without the covers, the weeds would take over like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to work on that section.
Yeah.
So let's go through this way.
Okay.
Yeah, weeds out here are no joke. You're going to be on top. So
wait, what's going on with this tree here?
This tree is just, these avocado trees, some of them, they just straight up die for no reason whatsoever. Okay. So this thing died. We thought it got hit by lightning, but it didn't. It just, apparently there's avocados are just having this thing where they just die.
Well, so here's the thing. I have my channel. I don't know if you've seen my videos, but I was at an avocado farm recently, and there's something called a Laurel wilt disease.
It's a bacteria, right?
No, it's a beetle that gets into the trees, into the roots. And this is an example. To me, it looks like what it is.
Yep.
The problem is, if this happens, it spreads. So you need to address this. And I did a video recently on my website with a fellow that has an avocado farm down in Homestead.
With diatomaceous earth in it?
No, you need to, if it's this bad, you need to cut it out and burn the wood.
Yeah.
And before it spreads to other trees, and maybe even cut the trees around it before it spreads to everything. It's very
Is it just hits avocados or it hits everything?
Just avocados. It's very informative video. But
it's coming right here.
Exactly. You see, this is a good example of this might be what it is.
The days.
So
this is actually really good.
Day avocado.
Yeah, I love these.
I actually have one in the ground, but I haven't tasted it yet.
So good.
Wow.
It's a longer avocado, very buttery. I really like it. The Lula's really good too. Lula's almost sweet. But all three of my avocados have a high fat oil content, which is what you want in an avocado.
Sure.
I don't like those big watery Florida ones. These ones are high fat, high oil, and it gives you that, you know, that.
Do you sell these?
I do, yeah, I do. They usually pop in the summer. So I'm selling these usually like July, August, September, around that time.
And everybody, I'm going to put his contact information below, and I'm sure through his website he could tell you what's in season and what's not.
Yeah, I mean, we do mostly markets for retail. We don't sell off the farm.
Well, they can let you know what market they're at. All right. All right, you see, so we'll come in here, all these avocados, and then we see it again. All these avocados are good, but we see this again.
Boom.
And
but look at it coming back.
Yeah, you need to see my video on that. Yeah. And it could be something else, but from my understanding, this is something...
It's coming back, though. You see all the new growth coming back out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If it's dead, it would be dead like the other
I agree, yeah.
So it's still got life in it. It's coming back, so I don't really know what to do.
Well, I'll put you in touch with somebody who could tell you for sure. All right.
It's only one or two of them, so I don't have it throughout the entire place. It's one or two of them. And it happened to this one, too, but I dug it out anyway.
It's interesting that it skips trees.
These are the brogue guns.
Okay.
You see they're getting pollinated right now, the flower.
Yeah, and how big was this tree when you first got it?
Waist high.
Wow, I have one that's waist high now.
Yeah, that's a big one. But this is also because I didn't top them. If you see, look how long their arms are. If I had topped them properly, they would branch out more like a bush rather than just...
Now, how close are they planted to each other?
Same, like 10, 12 feet.
Okay.
They're a little tight. They're definitely a little tight. But, you know, we're getting production out of them for many years until they get to the point where you do have to maybe prune them, really hard prune them, or take one out and move it.
Sure.
So.
Okay, so we're coming around here to the different varieties. You said you had 10 varieties of bananas, right?
Yeah, I do. But we've had construction, so our irrigation got snapped. So I have to redo all my irrigation, so they haven't been getting any water right now. But I have some praying hands, and I've got Namois and Mysores, and I've got Thousand Fingers. I have Burros.
What's your favorite?
I like the Namois. The Namois and the Mysores are my favorite. They're like a little bit of banana, pineapple-y. Delicious.
Yes.
I love them. Let's go over here. So I'm going to be actually building a house in the middle of this fruit orchard.
Wow.
So I'm actually looking to sell some of my cockshoals. I don't know if you've ever tried that mango.
Yes.
It's a decent mango.
Yeah.
But they flower great here, but they don't hold fruit here for some reason. Like I said, if they get planted east of the Turnpike or east of 95, they'll do perfect.
Yeah, they're smaller trees and they're great for people that have small spaces.
Yeah, they are. They're really good. All right, come this way. So you can see I've got a mix between Florigon. I've got, I think I've got a couple like Zill specialties like Ugly Betty. I don't know if you remember, if you've ever tried that one.
Yeah, I love it.
Ugly Betty. I think I've got like another funky one they had, like Peach Cobbler, and I have a couple like random ones that we tried. They don't obviously do great here, but you do get the occasional mango, and it's a real treat when we get it. Let me see what I can find you over here. These, as we know with banana trees, they need to be separated to 3 or 4 in a bunch. If you've got 10 in a bunch, like right now, they need to be thinned out, and we're going to be thinning them out here shortly. We've got some mulch. We're going to start mulching all the bananas, trim them all down, and then give a couple pups away to some friends, because a lot of people have been asking me for pups, for praying hands and Mysores and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm going to have to take them out anyway. So I'll be happy to donate that to a few people. So yeah.
Now I know you live here out away from the city. How do you deal with? Do you have any problems with people taking fruit, or not out here?
That's a good question. Out at the front, I've never had anything stolen here other than 2 things. One was, actually one time I had some beautiful, big 50, 60-pound clusters of Mysores and Namois hanging on over the front of the fence. So I guess someone in a golf cart came in with a machete, and they didn't even come into the property, just on the outside. And ping, 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 threw them in the back. And
it's public property if it's out there.
Hey, all I know is I was excited to go pick them up, and then I was like, oh, let me go in the morning. I went out in the morning, gone. So somebody saw that they were ripening too.
So that was the only time you had an issue?
That, and then we've got raccoons and squirrels. That
was my next question. So what's worse out here, raccoons or squirrels or what else?
We have a family of raccoons that live here, and my wife wants them to stay here, so I'm not allowed to relocate them anyway. So so they stay here and they eat any fruit that hits the ground, or but we have to pick them properly. If we don't pick them, they'll pick them for us. So that, and the squirrels aren't so bad anymore. The birds are a little annoying. They'll come to a perfectly ripe mango, eat one, and the squirrels sometimes will take a bite out of one and then throw it and then go grab another fresh one. I'm like, dude, eat your if you're gonna eat one, finish the mango. Like, very rude. But other than that, we don't have that many issues. So these are the culturals fruiting. You see these culturals right here coming up? These are the ones I'm going to be removing all these trees. I've got probably like 7 or 8 culturals that go down here. They're actually a beautiful tree, and they flower really heavy. Look, they're reflowering right now after that cold snap we had. They were full of flowers, and then they died because of the cold snap, and now they're refruiting because we had that cold snap. I'll show you my pickerings. This is the beauty. You've seen all those mango trees, right?
Yes, yes.
These were planted before everything else, and look at the size of them. That is a fully grown pickering tree. And this thing gets loaded with fruit, and I barely have to do anything to them.
So that's your favorite.
This is my favorite.
Easiest to grow as well.
It's just a really good quality mango. It's low. I don't have to do anything. Look, that is like 7 years in the ground. And compared to all the other trees, they're 30.
Now, if you would have pruned the others, I know it would have been a lot of work.
I pruned them.
Yeah, but if you didn't stop pruning them, I know it would have been a lot of work. But can you kept them like this if you would?
No, because these are a dwarf variety. Those are not dwarf varieties. So even the Kerry's a dwarf variety, but the Kerry's get big. I'll show you the Kerry's. I'll show you the Fairchild. The Fairchild get big. Those are the Fairchilds over there. These are Fairchilds right here. So these get pretty big. But if you notice the top work that we did on these, not top work, but you can notice the pruning that we did. That's why all these trees are really low. This one was a different variety that we cut to try to graft, but the graft didn't take very well. So that's basically a perfect pickering tree right there. I mean, it's 7 years old, and it fruits heavy for the size of the tree. Like you'll be surprised how much fruit's on there. Look, another one right here. Look how loaded. Look how loaded this thing is. I'm hoping that we actually get some pollination here. Yeah, see, they're not the greatest, but not bad. We've got 1 or 2 per pinnacle, which is good for out here anyway. Looking good, that tree. And what's this here? What happened here? Just a different variety that we tried to graft, and it didn't hold. So, okay. Right here we have the Fairchilds right here. Fairchild. And I'll bring you down here. Then it's starting to get thick down there. That's where the Kerry's are. Okay. Those are my favorites. But they don't do great out here either. And see, Alex actually did help out a bit on that because I wanted to plant this whole place Kerry. And he told me not to do it. So I appreciate that, but I would have preferred him to tell me don't plant any mangoes out here, only plant pickering. But I guess he was finding out like I was finding out. Yep. And then when he found out, what did he do? He moved east. Sold his place and moved east. Well, I'm struggling with mangoes. But so these are Kerry's, and this is a dwarf variety, but this has been here, 7, 8 years, since 2015. So this is one of my favorite mangoes. I'm sure you've had them before. I have a tree, yeah. You have a Kerry? Oh, yeah. Lucky you. And it does great. Okay. So right in here, we're going to be putting a mother-in-law quarters here, shipping container, right here. A 40-footer with a 20-footer on top, right in the orchard, and then our house is going to be right over there. And what about these trees? Which ones? These are the ones I just cut back. Are they going to be in the way of the... I'm going to take them out. Okay, what are these? They are trees that didn't do well. Okay. I forgot which ones. I planted like 30 varieties. And the only ones that stood out are the ones that did well. So it's the only ones I'm interested in. So the Fairchild, the Pickerings, the Duncans. Sweet tart does okay out here. I wouldn't go nuts on it, but it does okay. And those ones I think are the most solid. Lemon meringue does okay out here, but it gets anthracnose pretty bad.
Sure.
So you'd have to spray like copper, organic copper on it and stuff like that, which I don't like to do. So we're going to try and replace some trees with other kinds of fruit trees.
And I see you got the trees right under the electrical line.
Yeah,
so.
that's the cable line. So I'm going to have to topple those.
Okay, that's a lot of work.
Yep. Let me show you something else cool. So remember I told you we obviously specialize in mushrooms?
Yes.
Well, I'm having some issues with certain trees in this area. They're getting like deficiencies. So I thought I would make a compost area over here. So I started making a mushroom block compost area right here. Not only because I'm going to make incredible soil out of this, but because I'm able to remineralize the soil over here and put mycelium in the ground and add compost to this area, hoping that it might help the trees a little bit. But you know, this is I've been trying to get a compost area for a while built, and this is one of them right here. So if you dig in here, you know, this is really hot right now. I'm like, my hands are burning right now digging in here. So this is all hardwood, organic hardwood, and it's basically breaking that. You can see some mushrooms. You can see some mushrooms pinning out of this old block right here.
Wow. So is this wood from trees?
These are oak pellets that we use to make our mushroom blocks with. And then we have to pasteurize our blocks, and then we inoculate them with mushroom spores. I'll explain that to you as we go further in. So you can see right here. That's mushrooms right off the top. So by October, November of this upcoming season, this will all be black gold. This will be like beautiful soil. I can't wait. So when the rains hit it, after the rains hit it, and we'll probably cover it and we'll cook it, it will turn into amazing compost.
So, what do you mean you cook? Oh, you mean it's like, going to cook itself?
It's going to cook itself. Yeah. I mean, if you stick your hand in there, you'll burn your hand right now. Like I'll show you.
I take your word for it. I'm not going to burn my hand.
So as I dig deeper, it will start getting hotter and hotter. So we're trying to keep that clean in there because we don't want to get any bits of bags or anything in the compost area. You can see a nice namwa cluster right up there.
Now, how do you know they're namwa? Just because you planted them?
They're either namwas or mysos. These are ice cream bananas, the blue javas.
Yeah.
And then over here. See, for this variety, we take should take the actual flower because it will start to try and pollinate, and it's just waste energy. But you have to do it early enough. If you do it late, it's too late. So you got to do it early.
And do you irrigate these? You got irrigation on these?
No. I mean, we typically irrigate them all the time, but since we've been doing construction, the line got cut like 9 times, so I have to because it goes all the way around the perimeter. So that means I have to do an irrigation line all the way around the perimeter. So I have to repair that all. But in the summertime, they all go nuts anyway. They rain, they get the natural water. So this field we're going to strip out here. In the next couple of days, we'll be removing all this, adding compost to this, cleaning this all up, and then replanting different stuff here. So we've got probably some okra we'll probably plant. We'll do a nice little field of okra right in there. That would do really well. And yeah.
What are these, sugar apples here?
No, these are the little strawberry fruit.
Okay, yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
Have you had those?
Yeah, they taste like Captain Crunch cereal.
They're so good.
Yeah.
So good. So I just, Connor actually brought me that tree. But, you know, we're going to be planting a lot of cool stuff in that back area where we're going to be doing our retreat area.
This is the 1,000 fingers.
1,000 fingers, yeah, but it didn't quite make it all the way down. But you know, if this thing was irrigated properly and taken care of and fed, it would go all the way down to the ground.
Wow.
But this is an example of what 1,000 fingers is. These are like bite-sized things. If you actually whack these right now, these are all ripened. And they're just like 1 bites. They're cool. Wow. They're more of like a novelty banana.
Yeah.
But they're cool. I wanted one.
So there's all his kale.
This is a variety of kale. I got some nice red kale there. I've got some pak choy, turnips, radish. some Japanese eggplant right here. And then I'll take you down. Oh, right here I've got a hoop house with peppers and stuff. Let me show you. I don't usually grow peppers in here and stuff, but I wanted to see how it does.
Sure. Now, did you learn a lot of this gardening from self practice, or did you like study it somewhere?
Books, self practice. I used to watch a lot of John's videos, Tawna's videos actually. But I actually just learned. It's just a lot of trial and error. You know, I made a lot of mistakes. But I would read a lot of books. I would study.
Has John been out here?
John has been out here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's been out here. So look, we got some eggies right here. You can see these.
Oh, so he's planting the eggplant in these grow bags.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
We have 3 different techniques of growing here. We grow in these grow bags. We grow in the ground with amended compost, raised, right? And then we also grow in concrete raised beds. So we have 3 different techniques of growing, and they all have their pros and cons.
Okay.
But you know, when it's heavy rain, the fields they suffer, but the raised beds don't. Same with the bags; they don't really suffer. It's just the fields can get flooded out certain times or washed away, but for the most part they don't, because I raise them really high. I raise them a good like this high off the ground. So long as I'm adding strong amendments, composts to the top and keep them elevated, I'm pretty much good. I'm pretty much safe.
And you're holding them up with these strings here.
Well, these are holding up these. So this is just like a Mickey Mouse
wire.
Yeah. So this is a Carmen organic pepper.
Alrighty. There you go. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Carmen.
It's actually really good pepper. And then we have some cayennes over there. We've got some lunchbox over there. Yeah, so they do okay here. They actually do better in the ground. Actually, everything does better in the ground. So long as you
really?
I think so. Yeah. Everything, yields, quality, everything is better in the ground.
And if it wasn't for the rains, would you still build up the dirt, or would you just leave it right in the ground?
The cheaper way would be to leave it in the ground, but I like the aesthetics of the raised beds.
Got you.
For my own personal satisfaction, but it's not the intelligent way to do it, because you're just wasting a lot of money. But I noticed that 1 block with a 4-inch cap is all you need. It's perfect. So it's about, you know, a little above 12 inches. So you got, I believe this is 6 and a 4. It's like 10, 12 inches. So these are actually work perfect. You can grow pretty much anything in here. These beds are on the way out. So let me show you over here. You've had these before, John?
Paul, which ones are these?
Oh my gosh. This. Do you like a little kick or no?
Oh yeah.
Take a little nibble of that. So in about 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's a kale.
Nope. 4 seconds, you'll feel that in your nostril, right?
What is it, a mustard green?
Uh-huh. But it's a wasabi. It tastes just like wasabi. She's like, nope. I got some collard greens going in there.
Wasabi, whoa.
Yeah, strong. Sorrel right over here. This is a new bed. I believe we planted sorrel in this bed. We've got some French breakfast radishes in here. These Davignons. Those are nice. And then we've got some chard here. We got kale here. Mustards here. We got habaneros with no heat. So these are basically they're basically like habaneros but no heat.
And there's a bunch of kale there.
Kale. This is really good too. This is something I actually learned. I'd like to take credit for this crop, but I can't. This one was from Holman's Harvest. The farmer over there, I saw him, he was growing this one time, and I asked him, like, why are you growing just the tops? And if you want to take a little nibble off that, you'll know why.
Doesn't like onions.
Mm-hmm. You don't like onions? Don't eat it. Yeah.
Thank
you don't like onions? Do not eat that.
Yeah.
Right over here, if you like a little caliente, a little spice.
Is it hot?
Yeah, that's hot.
Had this hot.
That is very hot.
I'll save it for later.
Yeah, save it for later.
Alrighty.
And then here we have arugula, some pak choy. We got some beautiful pak choy, some really delicious arugula. It's another succession planting of arugula over there. And then we've got a bunch of different kale down there.
Do you grow Napa cabbage?
No. Cabbage doesn't grow great over here because it's hot, you know, so
Yeah.
it's more of a cold weather crop. You can grow it 2-3 months out of the year.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of room. It's not my specialty.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
I love to do this for markets, but I'm not a veggie farmer per se.
Sure.
but I love to grow, and our customers love our veggies. And they honestly, I'm biased because, you know, they're my veggies, but they taste so much better than what you get. Most of that stuff at the market is from Honduras or Guatemala.
Yeah.
It's not grown here.
Yeah.
No matter what they tell you.
So what about these poles?
Yeah, so these poles, we had a shade house here, but I'm gonna probably take these out because I'm building a farm to table area under this area here. So all this will be farm to table area, similar to Swank's setup, but more this way.
Okay.
And yeah, so we've got a lot of plans for the farm. So this is similar to Universal's setup, where they basically throw their old multi-green trays here, they'll cover them, and then they'll go back to the other pile and start using the soil from there. Similar technique, but you know, we try to make the best compost we can. So apologies, it's a little messy right now. So you come in here, this is a microgreen area.
Wow.
So we do our microgreens in here. So we've got pea shoots, obviously sunnies, they're actually whacking outside right now. We got some broccoli and radish. So I only grow 4. I grow pea, sunflower, broccoli, radish. That's it. I could grow 1 million. I don't want to. I just need to stick with it.
Sure. And did you do this to the container?
Yeah. We customize containers in really cool ways.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so these are some mushrooms that we just harvested. These are called black kings or black pearl oysters. So these are like in between an oyster mushroom and a king trumpet. And these are very rare. Not many people grow these other than small mushroom farms. So the chefs have really been going crazy for them. And we've just been short of them, to be honest. They've been ordering more than we can produce at this moment. So everyone's fighting for these right now. So this is like gold for us right now. So right here, the girls will build. We have organic soy pellets and we have hardwood. And they get mixed in here, and then they get bagged here, folded, and then steamed in the steamers. So I'll show you where that goes. So blocks go, after they're made, they get folded. They get put in here, and they get steamed with a sauna steam. And they get steamed for about 24 hours. Then they go from here into the lab. Let me show you. So right here is where the blocks stay, and then they get inoculated in here.
So what are these blocks for?
So this is the mushrooms. This is how we make our mushrooms.
Got it.
So we open up the blocks in front of the flow hood, inoculate it with the spores that we need. Then we seal it, goes into the tumbler, mixes them, and they go in here. And they sit in this room right here. And they sit in the dark for about 2 to 3 weeks in here until they turn white. You see how the mycelium's spreading on here? Let me show you a newer one so you can see it just starting to spread. Here's a newer one. You see how it's starting to spread? Yeah. That's how it starts. This was probably done 2 days ago. So, you know, we have different...
And that's how you grow the mushrooms.
Sorry?
That's how you grow the mushrooms.
That's how we start. That's part of the process. It's a very complicated process. Okay. Mealies, put it out. So after that, then they go in the fruiting chambers. And then we have fruiting chambers over there, fruiting chambers in here. Let me just pull out. Let me just grab you a block.
Okay. Wow.
So this is a lion's mane. This is one of our commercial blocks. These are probably about 3 days out. They're not quite ready yet, but these will be pretty big in about 3-4 days. So that's a lion's mane. So we took one slit down the side, and you can see all the mycelium get pushed up, and then the fruiting body comes from that one.
And could you reuse those blocks when you're done?
Probably about twice. They'll go 3 or 4 times, but we don't have enough time and real estate to keep them in there where I can put a fresh one in to produce a lot.
And then after you use them, you put them in the compost?
Exactly. Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
Oh wow! This is the mushroom.
This is our oyster room. So we've got some beautiful blue oysters right here, you know, we harvest twice a day. So the girls whack it in the morning and then in the afternoon. You can see right here. You see how this is See how there's the old pitting right here?
Yeah.
I have to open these up right now. So I need to get in here, do some work, cut these open to let them fruit out of here so they don't end up just fruiting inside. This is them, and within 3-4 days, they're going to look like the other ones I just showed you. In about 3 days, they'll look that size. They'll be big.
Now, is there a lot of? I know it's everyone loves for his taste, but is a lot of nutrition in them?
There are, yeah. I mean, mushrooms have so many different medicinal benefits, and we grow a lot of medicinal varieties too. Remember those black trumpets I was showing you before?
Yeah.
This is them right here.
Wow.
So those will get way bigger, but you see how they kind of look like a trumpet?
Yeah.
Different than the blue ones I just showed you? They come from the same family, so to speak. They're an oyster variety, but they're completely different. They're a big meteor mushroom, you know?
Sure.
So these are the ones coming up for next week. So we succession time, almost like succession planting, but we...
And you got a whole bed over here.
Yeah, so this area we're going to plant in the summer. We'll probably plant a turmeric crop, but we solarize it when we're not using it. Otherwise, the weeds will come up. And then we'll take this off and then plant the turmeric. We'll add compost and nutrients and stuff like that, and we'll plant turmeric here. And I might be putting some hoop houses here. But that's where the Airbnb is going to be going, in that open field over there. With a beautiful pond, a long pond, all the way down to the end where that mulch is. Then I'm saving that mulch for the fruit forest. So when we actually plant our fruit trees, we're going to mulch around it with that mulch.
Nice.
So that's out of the way, and I'm using it. So there were old trees here that I chipped, but we're going to reuse it and put it back into the earth rather than just getting it thrown away.
Very
I really
nice.
wanted to use it.
Very nice.
So, yeah, that will work. And, yeah, I can show you the gym if you want, or we can go... Oh, I have another lab in here. I think Claudia might be. So this is another lab. This is where we do our spawn. So we do everything from seed to harvest. So we actually go from petri dish to spawn to G1 to G2 to blocks, from blocks into colonizing room into fruiting
But there's no seed process in the mushroom itself, right?
Yes and no. There's a spores. But the
yeah.
spores have to sit on something that you can spread.
Sure.
So we use organic sour gum seed, and we basically high pressurize, pasteurize those or steam them, and then we'll inoculate them in front of in a different lab, not in that lab, a different lab. We inoculate the seed with the spores, and then it takes a like a week or two, and then that will turn that bag into what we call G1, Generation 1. We'll take that Generation 1 after a week, sprinkle it into other seed bags, and make them Generation 2. So now we're taking Generation 1 and making like 20 or 30 G2s. And with the G2s, we can make 20 to 30 blocks per G2. So one G1 makes like 300, 400, 500 actual mushroom blocks. So it's important for us to create our strains here on site, because then we don't have to pay for all the spawn, and we can handle everything from beginning to end. It's a lot harder to do it that way, a lot harder. But it's been 6-7 years, and now we've teamed up with Claudio, who's our mushroom partner. And he's really like an engineer type, more left-sided brain. I'm more right-sided brain. I create everything, but I need a good partner to help me build stuff. And Claudio's that person. He's doing a great job on that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of, we do a lot of restaurants now, so we've been working with a lot of really nice, good restaurants, a lot of vegan restaurants, Plant Miami, Pure, I think there's, was it Pure, I don't know, Vegan Junkies, I don't know if you've heard of them. They make some cool little vegan burgers.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so all these are going to be affirmations, all sorts of affirmations that resonate with us, really. So this is one of our varieties. This is an Indira Yellow, and I believe we have a red right here. So red. This is all Amarillo, huh? This is all Amarillo. So this is, we harvested, this is the yellow turmeric. This is called Indira Yellow. This one's about a 5.5, 6% curcumin rating. So it's a really good juicing turmeric, and it's really good for smoothies also. But we have two other varieties, which is...
Oh, wow.
So that's a blue turmeric. So this is our medicinal variety.
Wow.
Now you can't juice this. So like, I don't know if you want to taste a little nib. It is a really when John had it, John loved it. He was chewing on it like it was candy, and I'm just like, I don't know what he's been eating because it is really not delicious. But it tastes kind of like. You want to take a little nibbles just so you can taste a little bit. It's going to have a very intense medicinal taste. You taste that? Yeah. Yeah. So it's extremely medicinal. So it has a very bitter. It has a very bitter, pungent, like a very strange flavor. I don't even know how to explain it, but it has a lot of incredible medicinal values. Very high curcumin rating, and it works also on the gut lining too. So it's definitely something that we'd be making tinctures out of. We've been combining with our lion's mane mushroom because the combination between the two does something to the brain. We don't know what it does, but all our customers that have that combination, when we mix them, they tell us that, because we use that as basically, we experiment with different products and we get our feedback from our customers and ourselves to see. It's one person tells you one thing, but you need 100 people to tell you. And if they're coming up with the same thing over and over again, then you know it works. So with this combo that we do a golden milk and we do a tincture. And when they take those, helps tremendously with anxiety and sleep. When you reduce the anxiety, you're able to sleep better. So it's people that have insomnia and stuff. It's been really helping them. It doesn't drug you or make you feel tired, but it eliminates anxiety, which eventually enables you to sleep if your brain's not going like this all night long. Yeah. Also makes you sharper, more focused, intelligent, memory's better, all those things. So lion's mane has an array of different benefits. And here's a tray of sunnies. And we get our seed from gut sprouts, Jody and Sean. And we get some from Universal too. We split it up. We get pea and then sunflower, and we go back. Sure. Because we like both of them. So yeah.
Wow, everybody, that was amazing, Joseph. Thank you for showing us your amazing farm and all the amazing things you got going on. And diversity is so wonderful, and I really appreciate that you're doing so many different things. So if one thing's not working or in season, something else always is, and it seems like it's always something happening here.
Yeah, always. That's the problem. It's just like it's too many. I do too many things. So we're focusing on what we're focusing on. Our specialties right now, which is we really want to get back to making medicinal products. So whatever it's from. We're going to grow some soursop, take the leaves, start extracting that, combining that with some of the turmeric varieties for cancer patients. Cancer obviously is a big hot topic for me, so I really want to be able to create something that will help people that are going through that, because when you're going through something like that, it's terrifying. It's a scary situation, and a lot of people don't get out of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put all the information to this farm here below the video, the contact information all below. He doesn't necessarily sell retail, but there are a lot of local farmers markets here in South Florida, and definitely contact him if you have questions or if you're in the area, and eventually they'll have their bed and breakfast. We'll come back when that's done. And I've had personally the food from here. I've been buying it for years from the markets. I'm finally glad I got it to come out here.
Check it
out. And it's wonderful. It's a great place, and 5 acres of a working property that you did a great job with. So thank you,
man. It's not to the aesthetics finished yet, but it will be in a couple of years. In about a year or two, I'll have it done.
Great. Thank you very much, man. Keep up the great work.